Nephi's learning and faith led him to do remarkable things, as we touched on last time, the knowledge of which influences us today. Let's take a look at his work, the 2,600-year-old life-changing history he wrote for our day. About 30 years after the events in the beginning of the Book of Mormon, the Lord inspired Nephi to create a record of God's impact in his life, to obey God's command, to help his children learn from his successes and failures, and to serve as a warning to future generations. He wrote down his story, engraving the words on metal plates that had the appearance of gold. A wise request, seeing that God intended to preserve them for centuries, as we will see. As Nephi aged and his kingdom became more settled, he commanded officials to continue keeping records. His descendants obeyed that command for 1,000 years. As that civilization neared its end, a leader named Mormon reviewed all their history and massaged it into one manageable volume. With help from his son Moroni, he engraved the results onto other plates, making a durable and invaluable summary. Moroni eventually buried those plates. This same Moroni, in fulfillment of biblical prophecies, appeared to a young boy named Joseph Smith 1,400 years later and showed him where the plates were buried. With God's help, Joseph acquired, translated, and published that record, creating what we now know as the Book of Mormon. It is now available in print and electronic form in many languages. The book laid the foundation for the restoration of God's ancient church in modern times, a church not affiliated with or having doctrinal or direct historical ties to any other faith or creed. Today, tens of thousands of missionaries and many millions of followers across the globe spread the book's message of love, healing, salvation, peace, power, and goodwill, making those golden plates worth far more than gold to people everywhere. I sometimes wonder if our own journals could have the same impact. Nephi emphasized that the purpose of his writing was for the learning and the profit of my children. His brother Jacob added that the people labored diligently to keep their records, hoping that our beloved brethren and our children will receive them with thankful hearts and look upon them, that they may learn with joy and not with sorrow, neither with contempt, concerning their first parents. For this intent have we written these things, that they may know that we knew of Christ, and we had a hope of his glory. Thumbing through our ancestors' photo albums helps us connect with them. Your record could have the same effect. Your children could turn the pages of your own history and view your stories, perhaps learning from them where they came from, how they can improve, what they should avoid, and how they can best get through their own lives. Spencer W. Kimball said, "People often use the excuse that their lives are uneventful and nobody would be interested in what they have done. But I promise you that if you will keep your journals and records, they will indeed be a source of great inspiration to your families, to your children, your grandchildren, and others, on through the generations. Begin today and write in it your goings and comings, your deepest thoughts, your achievements and your failures, your associations and your triumphs, your impressions and your testimonies." Centuries ago, Nephi followed that counsel and created his own record. From him, we learn sacred and essential things. Next time, we'll take a look at where the Book of Mormon's power comes from, starting with its remarkable first two words.